the branding or the marketing activities, our North Star is basically to be as authentic and as transparent as possible. So whatever then we are doing here as a team, or our marketing team who is executing our day-to-day activities, have been very clear from day one to achieve this North Star.
Hey guys, Mohit here, founder at Blash.io. We are a full stack video commerce platform. Today we have a special guest, right, explaining about his journey in building a sustainable brand. So today we have Amit Jain from founder Paaduks. So very exciting insights about, how do you build a sustainable brand ground up. So do have a look, right, and, keep learning. Thank you. Hey guys, welcome again to yet another episode of Superclass. Right, today I have Amit. Right, Amit is a founder at Paaduks. Paaduks is a renowned sustainable brand for footwear. Heartily welcome, Amit. Pleasure to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here, Mohit. Thank you for inviting me and to have this interactive session on the e-commerce sector.
Excellent. So let's start something about a bit of your background. Amit, it's good to know about the journey behind it. What was the thought before you started Paaduks, and why? It could be an interesting topic.
So to give you the background, Mohit, now professionally, academically speaking, I am a chartered accountant, and I have been involved in mergers and acquisition and deals for at least 10 years of my career. By 2017, I realized that I really want to make some kind of a difference by creating a business and then creating new opportunities with like-minded people. And hence, at that time, we launched another brand actually, which we launched in UK. And the brand was called Funky Kalakar. And in 2019, Funky Kalakar acquired Paaduks.
Okay.
That was just before the COVID hit.
Okay.
So Paaduks as a brand has been a for India's first sustainable footwear brand since 2013. We identified the opportunity with the original founders and took over the business in 2019.
Lovely, lovely. So you have been seeing the the e-commerce sector, how it's been evolving for last couple of years, right? So why sustainable as a sector? Like, how do you see this particular vertical in terms of sustainable fashion, or anything related to sustainability? How this has evolved, and what do you see in next coming years, Amit?
So first of all, Mohit, we need to understand that sustainability is actually not a new term. It has been coined as a sustainability point very recently. But if you look at our household practices of our forefathers, of our elders, sustainability has been practiced. I'll give you a very simple example. I at least belong to a generation wherein we used to buy new clothes once or twice a year, and then those new clothes were for special occasions like Diwali or your birthday, and then that used to transform into routine clothes. And once you are done with those clothes, either that were used as a cleaning cloth in the home, or you can actually trade that off to buy a lot of things with the utensil seller. So it's not use and throw scenario which you are seeing right now with majority of the economy. So sustainability as a point has been there in our Indian culture since long. Like if you look at grandfather or their fathers, they used to wear pure white kurta. Now this kurta was made from organic, like very cotton material, which was a natural material. All this synthetic material later came on. So sustainability as point has been there. It's just that now it is being marketed in a better way, so that people become more aware about what are the advantage of using sustainable material vis-a-vis normal material which are available in the market.
Okay. So my next quick question is, like, why it's been, becoming important topic in a customer household. You are rightly said that we have been using these kind of products, but of late, if you see, customer has become aware, right, in terms of this is a sustainable brand, and I should read the guidelines, and then probably I'll make a purchase. Why it is important for end consumer, Amit?
Okay, so what has happened is that sustainability as an important factor for the brand started evolving around 10 years back globally. So somewhere around 2012, 2013, the world started witnessing a new revolution, wherein more and more consumers were opting for the brands which are using natural materials or are transparent in their practices. What all materials they are using, what is the impact of the products they are making. What happened is this was a slow process which was happening around the world. However, after COVID, people realized the importance of living a sustainable and a conscious lifestyle, because all this pollution and all using of toxic material has led to a lot of pollution. The moment there was a lockdown and there were no unnecessary consumption, you could see that our skies were actually clear as compared to our day-to-day skies which we are seeing. So the customer itself started realizing the point that in order to have a better lifestyle, order to have a healthy lifestyle, they need to opt for brands and the materials which are actually good for them, and just not go with the trend or the cheap pricing which are available and use synthetic products which are actually not either for the customer or for the environment.
Okay. So, now suppose being many founders or, aspiring, entrepreneurs, would be thinking to, venture into, say, sustainability, right? So what would be your, couple of, thoughts or guideline that, hey, what should be your 0 to 1 strategy? How do you identify a product or a sector, right? And then, how do you scale it in probably in 1 to 10 journey, right? What is your experience like, Amit?
Okay, so first of all, to be very honest with you, there cannot be a very set kind of a guideline or a template in going this about this, which is of course applicable to all the businesses. But the key thought process lies in identifying the problem first.
Mm-hmm.
The problem, say for example, let's take example of Paaduks. We saw that the landfills are being clogged with tires. So now that itself is a problem. Why it is a problem? Because one, you are clogging the landfills. Second, this clogging is actually leading to lot of type of pollution. It is to land pollution, air pollution. Now, what was happening is these tires were being used for other things. Like for example, there is a process called pyrolysis, in which what you do is you burn those tires. Mm-hmm. And you extract the oil and metals out of it. However, and this is still there in India. I mean, as a country, we are still allowing this to happen. But a lot of countries have actually banned this process, because this actually is leading to even more pollution rather than the landfill pollution. Okay. So problem was identified. Now the point is, the problem can be solved either in the same sector or into a cross sector. Okay. So for example, tires mainly come from automobile. Now under automobile, of course, the solution have been identified of retreading and repurposing the tires and using them again. But again, that is being done at a very small scale till date. So what can be the alternative solution to solve this problem? One of the problem which people have actually done real well is that recycling these tires and using that material to make the roads, and which is also being done in India. We saw that tire as a material itself is very sturdy. Mm-hmm. Like for example, if it can take the load of a car which is roughly around a ton, mm-hmm, then of course definitely it is going to be a very sturdy material if it can be used for the shoe sole. Okay. Apart from being durable, it also provides you with anti-skid properties naturally. So there was the fit, the saying that okay, there is a problem, and and this can be used somewhere, and it comes with an added advantage of being durable and being skid free. So that was our learning, and that's what how we started going about it. So however, initially what we did is we used to take tires, we used to manually cut them and use them as a sole. However, now with our learning in since last 4 years, we have refined this process, and now we have industrialized this process rather than being manual.
Okay. Okay.
So, as I said, there cannot be a set guideline. In going about 0 to 1, every business has its own nuances, its own problems. So, in terms of sustainability as well, uh, you need to identify the problem and see where you can apply. So, I'll give you very small examples in how other brands have done. Now, let's take a giant like Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Amazon has started addressing the sustainability problem by, even though from a small step, replacing the plastic tapes with the paper tapes.
Correct.
Now, this paper tapes, now someone like Amazon who is delivering lakhs of packages every day, this is a very good move because it saves in, it actually results in a lot of reduce in the plastic, because now you are using paper tapes. There are other brands in terms of fashion. One of the apparel brand, what they do is they take away the surplus and waste fabrics, and they actually make new designs out of it by patchworks.
Correct.
So so now in this scenario, if you see, uh, fabric industry is being used as a fabric in the same fashion industry. But in our case, we have taken a material which is available from automobile industry and applied it to fashion industry.
Correct.
So problem identification of the problem and then its various application is the key, rather than having a set mindset of going about the solving the problem.
Correct. Correct. Very nicely put, Amit. But at the same point of time, now we still have to do branding about our, what products we are, making, so that consumer is aware. So how important is branding in this particular? I know the cause is noble, right? But at the same point of time, we do have to apply certain efforts around branding, right? How do you go about it, branding for very focused to a sustainable vertical?
So as you mentioned, Mohit, of course we do have a story to tell. However, branding is equally important. Even though we have a fantastic, we are doing something good for the planet, we have a fantastic story. Still, branding is equally important as applicable to other brands.
Correct.
However, for us, it becomes because the value which we have insisted in our brand, it becomes a little easier for us to do the branding, because what we try to do is we try to be as transparent as possible in our branding. So just to give you a small example, what we do is basically we try to convey whatever values we have within the brand to the people. Something like one of the values is transparency. So if you look at our recent social media handles, what we do is we launched a new collection, and we told our customers exactly what materials have been used in that collection.
Okay.
And we told them why these materials have been used and what proportion they have been used. Now, being transparent actually helps in a good branding, because customer is very clear that, okay, this is what this brand is offering, and they can take an informed decision whether this thing is a value addition for me in terms of material and its benefits, or it is not. So there is no misleading picture from our side saying that, okay, by wearing our footwear you can do wonders. We just give exact scenario in which where you can use this footwear and where you cannot use this footwear. So for example, if we have created our recent collection is a waterproof collection.
Mm-hmm.
It can be used for your daily walks, it can be used for evening strolls, but definitely you cannot use for them for sports purpose. So we are very clear on conveying this message, being very transparent in our branding. One is that. Second is basically what is happen. What you need to do is you need to be very authentic when you are branding, because today's consumer, today's generation actually relates more with the brands which are more authentic rather than being flashy or being just over the surface. So the more information you give them, the more brand it creates for you. The more they resonate with the brand and they can see, okay, their value system and brand's value system getting aligned. And that's what they make an informed decision then. So of course, being transparent helps, being authentic helps. And what this has all led for us is we have built a strong community.
Okay.
Because we are being very honest in our marketing, in our branding, in whatever message we are portraying. We have been being very honest, and successfully we have built a like-minded communities of 1 lakh customers at our end. So what that has done is that basically uh, we exactly know what type of customers we want, and vice versa, the customer exactly knows what type of brand we are.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, branding definitely is very important, provided you do it rightly and you do it in a very authentic way.
Very neatly put here. So now I'm very sure this will impact your, storytelling as well. Like, what kind of, you talked about you're being transparent to the customer, but is there any other strategy which, we should focus on, right? One, when it comes to storytelling, like what could be the frequency, or, what could be the messaging that, we should do?
So as I see, brand storytelling, uh, actually everything comes from what are your values. Once you have identified your value system on which your brand is going to stand, the things will fall in line. Basically, you can say that in terms of branding and storytelling, what is your North Star? If your North Star is to achieve transparency, whatever you do will lead to that. Then all your steps which you are taking, for example, in terms of creating any social media post, creating any collaboration with other brands, all the activities should lead to that. So that is one thing which we follow, is that in terms of uh, what do you say, the branding or the marketing activities, our North Star is basically to be as authentic and as transparent as possible. So whatever then we are doing here as a team, or our marketing team who is executing our day-to-day activities, have been very clear from day one to achieve this North Star. So once all these activities are done dedicatedly and religiously, you will achieve that.
And what is the importance here? You are talking about, I'm taking a question further in terms of social media here, right? Where you are connecting with your brands, where you're connecting with your end customers. So is there any thought about, what is social commerce mean for Paaduks? Like, how are you leveraging the social channel apart from branding? Like, is there any other strategy around this?
So apart from branding, what we are trying to do right now is that we are trying to take few steps in which we go deeper with our customer engagements. We are actually identifying brands which resonates with our values, and of course we resonate with their values, and we are trying to create those community, two set of communities coming together. So for example, we have identified one brand which is into cycling.
Okay.
So cycling again is basically a subset or a part of sustainability, because you are not using fossil fuels there. Now, what we are trying to do is we will be working with this brand to create a system in which our customers and their customer can form a community and further understand the nuances of sustainability.
Okay.
So that is one of the step which we are taking. We are also going to now leverage on social media in terms of our circularity program. So we are right now working out the working out the logistics and operational way how to do it. But we are going to launch a Go Circular program in which the customer can actually send their waste materials. So for example, if you have used the footwear and you don't want to no longer you want to use it, or bags or your dresses or shirts, trousers, you can actually give them back. Now these used fabrics and used footwears will be repurposed and will be given a new life. So this is how social media becomes a very good platform for us, because this is what we are communicating, that just not use our products and be sustainable, but go deeper and try to see that how you can reduce your pollution by repurposing the material, the products which you have already used, and let's tie up together to see how we can use those discarded or products which are no longer of use to you and can be repurposed and serve some another benefit to someone else also, or if they can be recycled and a new product can be created from that. So yes, social commerce in today's modern retail is a very important tool if you are using it correctly. So you can communicate with your customers, they can actually give you a lot of feedback. So just to give you an example, we are launching a new category of product in September, which no brand is doing in India. And this has been suggested by our customers since last 6 to 8 months. And now we have developed it. And hopefully by September end or October first week, the product will be live. So it just not helps customer to learn. It actually helps the brand to learn about where they are falling short and what are the new avenues which they will be looking at, because this is what their customer is looking forward to.
So what I was trying to understand, Amit, so in terms of customer retention, right, customer retention strategy, is the brand's approach when it comes to sustainable brand will be different, or you follow the same traditional outreach?
Is basically our approach is a mix of traditional and new ways of retaining the customer. So, for example, of course, there are tried and tested way to retain the customer, and of course, we are going to follow that. But on top of that, a brand can be basically innovative in terms of their product or what they are offering, they are selling to the customers. For example, in terms of flip-flops which we are selling, we are the only brand which gives a warranty on our product.
Okay.
So if your product is not performing well during X number of months, definitely we'll replace it without asking any questions. Now, what we are doing as a brand is that definitely we have started this practice few months back, but we are trying to increase that period now. So, for example, initially we were giving the warranty for X months. Now we are trying to improve further on the material and making the warranty twice of that.
Okay.
So this actually helps in retaining the customer in two ways. Is that one, they are very sure on your quality, saying that okay, the quality is great. And second, they also learn that the brand was giving a warranty for X number of days, and now they are giving for 2X of days, which means the brand itself is consistently trying to improve themselves, which actually resonates well with the customers, because this comes after their own feedback. Because once the customer gives feedback, we analyze that, and then we put in the processes and the newer materials or improve the current materials to ascertain the objective. And then hence, so this can be the one way. Second is what we are doing is I mentioned about Go Circular program. This actually we are hoping that this actually will lead to a lot of customer interaction, because they will actually want to see what exactly is happening to their products. So, and third, I think the best way to retain the customer is to have an excellent after sales experience.
Okay.
If your after sales experience is very average or not good, even if your product has been good, probably you'll find it difficult to retain the customer.
Okay.
Let's take example of customer support, which is there. So our customer support team basically tries to solve most of the complaints or the concerns or the queries or the feedbacks within 24 hours. So once there is any concern, the customer support team actually has the full knowledge of the product. And even if they don't have an answer, they have been given access to various teams, right from the marketing team to the product development team and everyone, to understand the nature of the complaint and to resolve the issue within 24 to 48 hours. So if even in case, for example, so what happens if you give a really good customer support is that even if sometimes your product doesn't suit the customer in the first shot, they will not be hesitant in giving you another try, because definitely now they have seen that okay, the brand is very authentic and you can trust this brand, so let's give it another shot. So yeah, so customer retention is, of course, as you know, is very important. So you'll need to align, you can say, a balanced approach in having the traditional. Now, for example, having the fantastic customer support is a very traditional way to go about it. So of course you have to do that. And apart from that, if you can come up with newer ideas in which you can engage your customers, or you can provide some kind of value in terms, either terms of a superior product quality or warranties, or some other ideas depending on your businesses, definitely customer retention, newer ideas in the customer retention always helps.
Okay, very insightful. Probably, one last question here is now, where do you see the whole sustainability vertical probably, next couple of years, Amit, like, how's the market growing? How's the customer response, right, from here?
Okay, so before talking about how it is going, little background, that if you see the last 5 year transition in terms of sustainability, when sustainability started somewhere pre-COVID, sustainability was the main USP of the some of the brands. Okay, the brand is saying that we are sustainable was becoming an USP, but with the increased ask from the customers on the brand's values, on their sustainability approach, sustainability will become a must from the brand's perspective. Then it cannot, so it cannot be your USP, it needs to be a given factor. Because what is happening is the newer generation of consumer which is coming up, they actually, as I said, they resonate with the brand, with values, with having ethical practice, having sustainable practices. So more and more brands need to go with this approach uh, of having a sustainable line of production, sustainable packaging. I mean, the whole supply chain will have to be evaluated in terms of that. More and more brands are coming, which are giving you an alternative of in every aspect, be it a mobile phone, be it your clothes, be it your footwear, handbags, anything. If you are aware, in footwear sector, new BIS regulations have been launched by the government recently.
Okay.
So basically, what BIS, I'll not go into the technicalities of those regulations, but basically what BIS regulation intend to do is that they are making the brands responsible to provide a quality product.
Okay.
When you can provide a quality product, once you start providing the quality product, the product is going to last more, which indirectly leads to sustainable practices. Because if your product you are making from an inferior quality product is not going to last for 2 months or 3 months also, now the better quality material is going to make the products more, the longevity of the products is going to increase, which again is one of the sustainable practice which the brand can follow. So this is just the start. I mean, it just has come into footwear sector, it will start coming in a lot of sectors in future as well. So the government is taking cognizance of it, the customer has taken the approach to it. So I don't see the why the I see that brands will have no other option but to follow the sustainable practices in future.
Yeah. I think it was a very, very insightful discussion, Amit. A lot of insights. I think I got to learn, and so would be the community as well, right? Couple of some questions, which is of my favorite. This is probably just to know Amit a little bit more. So what is your success mantra about scaling an e-commerce brand, right? Or anything around e-commerce, building an e-commerce brand.
One is that the e-commerce scaling, which has in last 2-3 years, if you see, which a lot of brands have done, I think those are not sustainable practices. So one is that we as a business right now are currently very focused on growth, but a sustainable growth. But so that is one of the key point which we have agreed upon as a complete team. Second, I think once you start scaling up even further, like for example, if you are at X today and you'll be at 10X and then you'll be at 100X, just e-com, just being online might not be feasible. You might have to try the omni-channel approach. You might have to be there on the offline side as well, be it your own stores or be it having, with the big retailers, something like Shopper Stop or Lifestyle or something. So yeah, and third is I think if you really want to be successful in an e-commerce side, uh, having a quality product and a great customer support team will go a long way.
Any e-commerce leader which Amit follow?
Zerodha, they are not e-commerce per se, but they have taken the whole brokerage system online. But as a startup, I'm a very big fan of Zerodha because one is that they have built the business very sustainability without any external funding. So that is one of the brand which has created wonders. Another is Boat. They are not into sustainability, but they are, of course, an e-commerce brand. But they have shown that an e-commerce brand can scale to that level in our country.
Excellent. It was pleasure having you, Amit. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, right? Truly thankful from the entire team of Blash.
Same, yeah, Mohit. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you.